Alright, and the week after that, I believe the ninth, we are interviewing El Guerrero Cuervo. So you don't want to miss that. Hit the subscription button and notifications to listen to those when they drop on Tuesday and Wednesday. I believe we are done putting ourselves over. No, Scooter?
I'd say so.
Alright, I feel like we have to kind of talk about this because there was a connection between this guy and WWE at one point, and was a big part of. He was a part of wrestling everywhere else. Jay Springer passed away.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
and you want to say, well, what was the connection between Jerry Springer and wrestling? Well, a lot of the people that were on the Springer show were independent wrestlers. Um, and he did do some stuff for WWE and maybe not a big name in pro wrestling, but he did give independent pro wrestlers opportunities and chances. No, Scooter?
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt.
So definitely our thoughts and prayers are with his friends and family. Alright. Um, Now we are wrestling with the news, and we'll get into. We're gonna put a whole segment about the draft and obviously backlash next week. So we're gonna start with a big part of the news this week, and that was the introduction of a new big gold belt, the return of the World Heavyweight Championship.
Hmm.
Is this a good idea, Scooter?
I believe they are calling this uh, the yes, we know we booked ourselves into a corner. Uh, Sorry, we screwed up. Here's a new belt championship. Um,
When you say screwed up, which part are you referring to? Because they screwed up a fucking lot.
yeah, they did. Oh boy. I mean, the belt looks nice,
I mean, it looks better than the WWE and the Universal Championship, at least.
but but now SmackDown is the undisputed Universal. Raw is the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, spoilers, by the way. Uh, Roman staying on SmackDown.
Right.
Um, I mean, okay, but it doesn't change the fact that the existence of this title alone is an admission of the WWE screwing up its own booking. Now, and on top of that, that new champion will be crowned, I believe, on the thousandth. It's either the thousandth or 1001st day
Right.
of Roman's reign, which is I I am I am well, not equal parts, but 25% impressed, 75% disgusted.
Okay.
Like, you know, people want to people harped on Brock Lesnar because he was barely defending it, but Brock at least knew when to drop the title,
True. I mean, I don't
and
think Brock held the title any longer than a year. I could be wrong about that, though.
mm, yeah, it's he's got a number of multiple rings, but this proves my theory right. that there's only one person that can ever defeat Roman Reigns ever again. Goal! And that is a man named Lou. I will not finish that name. You can get it. You can figure it out for yourself.
Now, I do feel like introducing a major title is a good thing. I could make the argument that we never needed a Universal Championship. We always needed a World Heavyweight Championship because there are actual fucking names connected to that title. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, um, Ron Simmons, etc., etc., etc. Um, I the problem that I have with this title is bringing back this title is how long is Roman going to hold the WWE Championship for? Because we thought they were only going to go for 1,000 days, and now with the introduction of this title, I feel like there is no timetable for when he will drop this. I
Oh,
feel
yeah, exactly.
I feel like this title was just introduced to pacify us, to not feel completely locked in and numb with Roman for at least another 365.
Let's be honest. We're probably getting.
Right. And you know, you could have
Combine that with
easily made the argument, yeah, Cody wins the title at WrestleMania 39. We never got there. It would have been the perfect setup, and Roman could have did something afterwards, but we're not getting that.
I mean,
I'm assuming we're going to get Rock and Roman at 40, and The Rock's going to win the title. Because, what else would happen?
yeah, I mean, yeah, and the fact that that Cody is going to Raw.
Right. But that is a good question. Does it go to Cody? Should they give it to Seth? Alright, we're doing spoilers at this point. Do they give it to Gunter?
I mean, Gunther's still a Continental Champion, so.
Or,
And I will tell you this.
they could pull the swerve and Roman wins it.
You know, you say that. You say that, and somehow Roman is going to end up with 3 belts.
I don't think it was ever a discussion. I think when they introduced that title, it was just a matter of, okay, when is Roman winning this shit?
I mean, is Roman going to get 1 belt, or are we going to get that golden version of the WWE champion that we've seen around somewhere? I mean, yeah, undisputed Universal, really fucking stupid name for a single championship.
Well, imagine that it's the Universal, the undisputed Universal World Heavyweight WWE Championship.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't call this one the Galactic Championship.
I think Thanos might have a say about that.
No, I think at least Null or Galactus.
Yeah, I don't think we're
Maybe
gonna get.
the High Evolutionary.
I don't think we're gonna get Roman and Silver Surfer at any point in the future. So I have to put a pin
But
on that.
I will tell you this: from this point forward, Roman is. Oh, they're coming to get you, James.
Oh no, that's just Rey Mysterio's last opponent.
Oh, God! I'm bad. You're worse. Jesus. Mark my words. Roman is going to be the last superstar in WWE history to ever hold 2 belts, 2 singles championships at once.
I call bullshit on that.
They are not going to do that again. And if they do, they're gonna really alienate the fans. You know, my one of the big questions in my mind, does this mean we are closer to seeing John Cena, 17-time champion, or are we that much closer to Randy Orton, 17-time champion? Randy's at 14 now. You gotta think that they penciled Randy in for at least one reign with that belt.
Well, considering how John Cena's last run with WWE went, one set up with Austin Theory and a lackluster match against Theory at WrestleMania. I highly doubt John Cena is going to be doing anything with WWE anytime soon.
Do you remember Cena's 16th reign?
It was a month.
It was a month.
I mean, yeah, but does John Cena even have that time at this point? He would have to
No,
really commit to WWE, and I don't see him doing that at this point.
no. And we all know that they're gonna have Charlotte break the record if Charlotte's even staying at this point.
Right.
God, this is.
Let me
I
ask you
mean,
this: if Cody does win this title, does that pacify Cody Rhodes to say, "Okay, I completed what my dad didn't"? Because the whole story was about winning the WWE Championship. And the WWE Championship is held by Roman. The World Heavyweight, well, that's just the same title that his dad held. No?
the no, I'm going on the logic that Roman's titles are no longer, the actual name of the WWE Championship is no longer exclusive to Roman's title. If we want to, this is really semantics when you think about it. Uh, the old WWF belt, which is which looks more like the NXT North American Championship, if you've ever seen it. The the fact that they're calling this once again the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and not just the World Heavyweight Championship, uh, that that means something. And if you really want to read into it, it means more from a storyline perspective. Because, okay, Dusty has, Dusty never won the championship, or never won the WWE Championship. And not only is this a WWE World Championship, but it's a brand new WWE Championship. And when you win a brand new championship, it's a symbol of how much the how much the company believes in you, to have you carry the weight that new championship will bring.
Well, I mean, if they put the universe on Finn Balor's shoulders, and it got torn, so.
Well, I mean, technically he got injured before he won the belt in the midst of the match. So
You say potato, I throw a potato in your face.
You say potato, I say sucker punch.
Um, Maybe we're reading too much into this, as things.
No, never.
We'll get into more of this when the information is more available. Um, Another thing that people might be reading way too much into is CM Punk was backstage at Raw this week.
Yes. And he
Um,
was thrown out.
he was asked to leave nicely.
Yes, has to lead nicely.
Um, I think that there was no agenda there. I just think
No.
that whatever at this point, CM Punk is a polarizing figure. Whatever he does, whether it's right or wrong, it's always going to be under a microscope and scrutinized. So might as well play with people's emotions at this point and stir the shit, so to speak, because they're already in your hands. So why not play with them? Um, what are your thoughts on it, though, Scooter?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. It's about Punk was visiting people. That's it. He even met with Triple H, and they shook hands, and Punk did it in a respectful manner. And honestly, I don't think there's any more about that than that. I don't think it goes any further than that.
What do you think Triple H said to CM Punk?
All right, now here's what I want you to do in AEW next.
I would think
Don't say insurance.
that match with me at Mania is looking pretty good at this point. No,
Oh yeah, CM Punk, the man who killed Triple H.
yeah, that rivalry was his undoing. Triple H's. He was never right afterward. He never won another single championship afterwards, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah.
He actually did, Scooter.
No, well,
He won
no,
the
no one.
title one more time. He main
See.
evented WrestleMania literally 2 years later.
Oh yeah.
Um, Sasha Banks. What is her name? Michelle Money or
Mercedes Monet.
something like that. Sure. She lost the IWGP Women's Championship to Mayu Iwatani last week, I believe, at a Stardom event. Um, which kind of raised speculations if she's going to stay with New Japan or not. We'll get to that in a moment, but Mayu Iwatani, probably one of the greatest women's wrestlers in the world that doesn't get maybe talked about as much as she really should. Um, and I could make the argument she should have been the first IWGP Women's Champion. No, should have.
Yeah, yeah. She should have been.
So, congratulations to her. Speculations on Mercedes leaving New Japan, not true. She will be in Long Beach on the 21st for Resurgence. They're going to give her the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Oh, I mean, she's in a tournament to be crowned the first New Japan Strong Women's Champion. But I mean, she's getting a belt, right?
Yeah, yeah, probably. I
Um,
mean, how many are gonna? How many really are gonna be in the strong women's division?
as of now, four at least.
Oh boy, that's 6 matches in total.
Well, there's 2 tournament matches. The other match is Willow Nightingale versus a Japanese girl like name that does not I cannot think of at this moment. And Mercedes Monet versus TBA. So
If there's 2 matches, it's not a tournament.
well, what do you call that? A scramble?
I call it 2 matches.
Well, I mean, she has to fight 2 matches. One against TBA and the other against Willow Nightingale. That's more than Tanahashi or Will Ospreay is going to be doing that night. I'm not saying that she's better than Tanahashi. I'm definitely saying she's better than Will Ospreay.
Alright, fair point.
Naomi made her Impact debut, or will be making her debut in the next week or 2.
Her appearance has I believe has already been taped.
Yeah.
And funny enough, Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné was at these tapings.
Really?
Yep. Backstage as a guest of Naomi, Trinity.
I can imagine, I mean, she did screw her over royally. Um, yeah. I would imagine she would want to make up for that. Let me ask you this, Scooter. If Trinity was married to Jay and not Jimmy, would we be having this conversation?
Trinity was married to Jay, not Jimmy. Yeah, we'd be still having the same conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even though he's the right hand man?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'd still say.
Alright. Well, as much as we would be Trinity, I do wish her the best. I hope that she could maybe get back on her feet and maybe we spark a passion that hasn't been there for pro wrestling in quite some time. Obviously, Impact Wrestling is not short on incredible women. Arguably, they have one of the best women's division out of any promotion nowadays. So, um, I definitely like to see what she does. All right. Now this is only rumor and innuendo at this point. But Minneapolis might be hosting WrestleMania. Uh, 30,
Yes,
no,
41.
40, 41.
41.
Yeah, 41. Um, I mean, when you think pro wrestling, you don't necessarily think Minneapolis. No, Scooter?
Actually, yeah, you do.
Oh,
The AWA.
that, okay, yeah. One gun.
Yeah, I mean, Brock, Shelton, Kurt Hennig, Scott Hall, Brett Rengans, all the AWA. Hulk Hogan. Yeah, those motherfuckers have to come from somewhere. Might as well be Minnesota. I mean, hey. They already have a bunch of Vikings that are losers.
Oh, don't say that about the Raiders. They have Valhalla with them.
Go sports ball.
Yes. But is Minneapolis a destination state?
I mean, it did have. I mean, it did house the Mall of America.
But that's more WCW.
Mm, no, WCW just happened to put shows there. That's all.
True.
They did. They did the first and second Nitro.
The second one was there too?
Second one was there too.
Oh.
I remember because the second episode of Nitro had Sabu on it.
Ooh.
Against Jerry Lynn. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota's got a huge stadium, and the fact that they're the Twin Cities, yeah, St. Paul and Minneapolis, I think Minneapolis is long overdue.
Considering Arizona has had a WrestleMania, you might not be wrong about that.
I mean, considering Hartford has had a WrestleMania.
I mean, the only reason I could say, okay, yeah, was because they're literally based in Hartford. Well, Stanford, but, it's the same state. Not to mention they were in financial ruins at that point.
I mean, there are a couple of cities that are well overdue for either the first WrestleMania or another WrestleMania.
And I mean, we're seeing that for 40. I mean, the last time they won Philly was in.
It's a 25-year anniversary of the last WrestleMania at Philly.
Right, it was 15.
15, yep.
Yeah.
I would like to see them go back to Indianapolis. Nothing aside from WrestleMania 3, nothing beats the sheer awesomeness of that view of the Hoosier Dome. One of the most iconic stadiums that isn't in New York, Chicago, or Boston, or LA.
Hoosier Dome was 8, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
God, what other? And, I think Seattle should get another one, but let's look at the pattern here: 39 LA, 40 Philadelphia, 41 Minneapolis, which means 42 is probably going to be West Coast.
It should go that way, but it has been a little bit lopsided only on the East Coast.
Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I think 42. I think they'll do 42 in London.
I mean, if you're
That's
talking about somebody overdue for a WrestleMania, it's definitely Canada and England. Um, but wasn't Vegas supposed to be in that discussion as well?
I think Vegas dropped out of the discussion after the Money in the Bank sales. Plus, you also have to take into account hockey season.
I mean,
Considering how the the Vegas Knights are playing, that WrestleMania would be at T-Mobile Stadium.
No, WrestleMania would be at Allegiant.
Allegiant. That's what I mean. And that's where the Vegas Golden Knights play. It's the same thing. Same thing with Seattle. It's interesting because the Minnesota Wild were just eliminated from the NHL playoffs, and now Minnesota's in talk to host a WrestleMania.
So you're saying hockey is the main thing with where WrestleMania will be held next.
Yes, that's the second biggest factor after number one. Is it a brand new stadium, or I should say, has the Super Bowl been there?
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. All right, we'll put a pin in that for now. AEW Dark Elevation is leaving. There will be no more Dark Elevation. Um, other than being a cap in a federal and independent wrestlers caps to charge obscene amount of money for interviews. What does this mean for AEW?
Um, it means two things: Jack and Squat.
Hmm. I suppose Paul White is out of the job, considering he was primarily the commentator for that show.
I mean, considering how many rumors we've heard about him, training to get back in the ring.
Hmm. Are they dropping Elevation? I can make the argumentation in Elevation to begin with. Dark was enough. Is this because there's going to be a Saturday show called Collision in the near future, and it's just
Yeah,
too
I
expensive?
mean, yeah, I mean, it it makes it makes a bit more sense that you get rid of one of your internet shows for if you're going to be producing more television. I would not be surprised if actual dark gets longer.
It becomes advanced darkness, or so fucking dark I can't fucking see.
Uh, Both.
AEW, turn the lights on.
And carry me home.
Alright, um, that brings us to our last bit of news. Um, do you know? Do you remember the girl from TNA, Rhaka Khan?
Yes, Rhaka Khan.
Yeah, the one that was with Scott Steiner.
Yes. Oh
So,
Lord. Oh God.
apparently she's resurfaced and she's suing uh, more than a few people for something nature. Conspiracy to kidnap her children. Obviously a very serious thing. Um, and the people she's suing, and this is absolutely not a joke. This is actually happening. These are actual people she is suing. Um, the state of Texas, the El Paso Child Protective Services, the FBI, Las Cruces, New Mexico Police Department, the NYPD, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, New York ACS, Omega Pisa Phil Fraternity Inc., Shirley Police Department, Sigma Phil Espelon,
Sigma Phi Epsilon.
sure that.
Greek letters.
Soul Folks, Country New York, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, The Miz, Maurice, Heath Miller, originally Heath Slater, Nikki Bella, Chris Benoit, Mark Jinrak, Panda Energy owned TNA back in the day.
Yes.
Home
And Mark Jindrak's dead.
Home Depot, Florida Championship Wrestling, Steve Korn, the NWA, Billy Corgan, Deep South Wrestling, Bank of America, Michael Jordan, yes that one, several universities, Jim Cornette, goddamn, Mick Foley, New York City Area Energy Company, Con Edison, and more.
And oh, you forgot the 1982 Denver Broncos.
Them too. Uh,
Um, I can sum this up in 3 words. Bitch be crazy.
oh, how much do you think she's suing for?
$3 billion.
Yes, she is. Oh my god, $2 billion.
You know, the only way it would surprise me more is she asked for $1 Brazilian.
Hmm. Or Bitcoin.
You know, on a lot of the sites that I'm seeing this, I want to know who is the Mix. MIX. Because the Mix is named, then Maurice.
Oh,
I don't see no Miz. And you know what? Spelling counts in a lawsuit.
uh,
Like, okay. Now, why? Why would they kidnap her children? Are her children harboring the cure for cancer? Are they actually you know, aliens and they have to like escape from a race to Witch Mountain? It is that movie actually based on a true story, and that's why The Rock made it. Oh my God, good Lord.
this is
Oh,
48 pages. And those were only a few of the names. I mean, how are they going to get? How are you supposed to sue Chris Benoit and Mark Jimrock? Get a
you,
fucking Ouija board out?
you see the estate,
Hmm.
but 9 times out of 10, those will get thrown out. Uh, in a case like this,
Oh, you're
here,
trying to
here's
actually rationalize this shit?
no, hold on. I'm not rationalizing it. I'm saying I'm talking about how an actual court of law would approach it if they actually considered it. No court will actually let this go anywhere, and they'll throw it out immediately.
Oh no, actually, this is actually happening. They said if she pays the charges, which she is, they're going to continue it.
Oh yeah, but no, once it gets to a bench trial, it will be thrown out.
Hmm.
Uh, since there's no way of getting everybody into that courtroom, and yeah, the scene in the Dark Knight not possible. What will happen is they will take. I mean, if they try them under the RICO statute, the group conspiracy statute, what they will do is they will find the most wealthiest person in that suit.
Michael Jordan or The Rock, I would suppose.
The settlement, if any, will be against him on behalf of all the people being sued, and then after that, it's up to that person to collect the money from the rest of the people being sued.
I can imagine Bank of America isn't like, bitch, get in line. Home Depot, this is Tuesday for them, I suppose. Do I even want to mention New York in any capacity when it's about suing?
Uh, it's it's really hard to to sue a city, especially New York, unless unless it's for, I'm sorry to say this, police brutality.
Hmm.
Um, 9 times out of 10, though, New York settles.
So she might be getting money out of this. So
I
that's
I
nothing for
the,
them.
the, I think the reason so many people are being sued
It's whoever it's
is that
whoever pays her to go away.
she set such a high number that something like, I don't know, let's say $100,000 will look tiny by comparison.
Too. I mean,
Which,
so The Rock and Michael Jordan went to Home Depot to buy tape to
okay,
abduct her children, and they used a Bank of America card.
okay. By the way, Suffolk County PD, that's Long Island. Uh, I think you forgot to mention McFoley.
Hey, pretty sure I said McFoley.
Oh God, Deep South Wrestling too. Wow.
Yeah, they'd be fun. A lot of the teams appear to
um,
be fun, not just the human
rumor,
beings.
rumor has it that we have just been added to this list.
Well, goddamn,
Yeah, well, you know what that means.
you need turbo taps?
No. We just made the list!
That will conclude our news portion of the
Yeah,
show.
that. By the way, that's a tagline for this episode.
Uh,
Or, please don't sue us, Rhaka Khan.
Now a quick word from our sponsors if they still want to sponsor us because, we're getting sick.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.